I hope you can see me. Can you hear me? I need to talk loud for this video. I'm naturally soft-spoken and you're very far away. Hello, and welcome back to my channel. In today's video, we're going to be going over all of the books that I hope to read in the month of April. Last month, I was in a really big reading slump, and it's partly because of the weather. It was partly because I got back into that feeling of I need to finish every single book on my TBR, and that makes me feel like I need to rush through a book. And honestly, that's the last thing I want to be doing. I'm someone who loves to take her time with a book, unless it's like a thriller book or a suspense book and I'm at the edge of my seat and I need to figure out what's going on. I guess that doesn't just apply to thrillers, but books that just like grip me and I'm like, oof, where I feel like I can't stop reading. Then maybe I'll read a little bit faster than normal. But in general, I love to take my time reading a book, so naturally that makes me a very slow reader. I feel like in the month of March, I was trying to catch up with some of the books that I didn't read in February, and now in April, I feel like I have books from February and March, and I decided that April is going to be a book. So I decided that April is going to be a month where I'm essentially going to be mood reading. I am going to mention some books that I hope to get to. I might not get to all of them, with the exception of 3 books that are things that I already committed to that I will be reading in the month of April or going into May. So I'm actually starting off this month with a nonfiction book. I recently joined a book club as part of my company, and they sent me the book, which was really nice. It's called The Culture Map: Breaking Through the Invisible Boundaries of Global Business by Erin Meyer. Now, I'm someone who doesn't gravitate towards business books. Whenever I do read a nonfiction book, they tend to be memoirs, or they focus on history or on something sciencey, like science and technology, but very rarely do I ever pick up like a business book. So this is going to be a first time for me. We will be reading a couple of chapters every few weeks. So I think when we're meeting in April, I have to read the first 3 chapters, which is only about 80 pages. So you'll probably hear me talk about this book in June because that's when we will finish it, which is nice because then I get to take my time with it in case it's very boring. But either way, I will report back on how this book goes. The next 2 books that I committed to reading in April are finishing off A Storm of Swords, which is book 3 in A Song of Ice and Fire, which, as you can see, I still haven't really made any significant dent in, and we are near the end of March. This is one of those books where I didn't want to rush through, so I did leave it till the end of the month where I didn't feel as pressured to finish a book really quickly. So I will be diving into this one very soon. And then hopefully right after I can go into book 4, which is A Feast for Crows. Again, this is part of the Song of Ice and Fire read-along that is happening here on BookTube. So I actually have no idea what happens in this particular book. When I went into A Clash of Kings and even a little bit with A Storm of Swords, I had some vague idea of what was coming next because I watched the TV show. I have no idea what happens in this book. I don't know if the show stuck to the plot this far into the series. I'm really excited just to see how it all develops and give you my thoughts. Now, the next 3 books that I'm going to mention are books that I hope to get to in the month of April, but I'm not committing to them. April is a literature in translation month, so I'll probably be gravitating towards a lot of translated books, which honestly makes me so excited because there's one particular shelf that is in my room that I don't normally look at or read from because our main shelves are in the living room and those are the ones that I peruse. And then I have library books and NetGalley arcs, and my life is a mess. So I'm so excited to finally take some time and peruse that one shelf upstairs, see what book is calling out to me, and just pick it up. I will say I did grab one of the books already because there is a 24-hour horror-a-thon that is being hosted April 28th through the 29th, which I believe is a Friday going into a Saturday, by Ashley over at Ashley's Little Library. I'll leave her video down below where she talks about it. And they have a group buddy read, which I am planning to participate in. We'll see how the timing works out because I'm actually going to Arizona for a company trip during that week. But hey, I thought might as well be there, lounging by the pool in Arizona and reading a book, right? Like, what better way to kick off a 24-hour readathon than to do that? So we'll see how that goes. But either way, I was really excited because the group buddy read for that 24-hour horror-a-thon is Jawbone by Monica Ojeda, translated by Sarah Booker. This is a book that I've been meaning to get to for a really, really, really long time. So it came out last year. It was a pre-order for me. I still haven't read it. I haven't read it. So I hope to be able to get to this in the month of April. I can't remember what this book is about, but I think it's a book about friends and about obsession. It says, Fernanda and Annalise are so close they are practically sisters. A double image, inseparable. So how does Fernanda end up bound on the floor of a deserted cabin, held hostage by one of her teachers, and estranged from Annalise? That is very interesting. It is a horror book, so we'll see how it goes. Now, as part of that horror-a-thon, I also hope to read one more book that I've been really meaning to read. It is another horror book, and I heard fantastic things about this one. It deals with grief, and I'm just gonna show you. So it's called Monstrilio by Gerardo Samano Cordova. This is a recent release. It was published either sometime, I think it was published sometime in March. It was a pre-order for me, and I love the cover. I love the feel of it, and I genuinely also forgot what it's about. After her son Santiago dies, Magos carves out a piece of his lung to save for himself. Acting on a fierce maternal instinct and the dubious logic of an old folktale, she nurtures the lung until it gains sentience, growing into the carnivorous little monstrilio she keeps hiding within the walls of her decaying childhood home in Mexico City. A thought-provoking mediation on grief, acceptance, and the monstrous side of love. That sounds super good. Like I mentioned, I've only heard great things about this book. Not a lot of people have read it, but the few people that have read it just have wonderful things to say about it, and I trust a lot of their opinions. So I know, so I, so I know that I'm going to at least enjoy it, and I just hope that I love it and that it becomes a new favorite. I just realized that a lot of the books on this TBR are green. So we have Monstrilio Jawbone, A Storm of Swords, and now the last book that I was going to mention is Tress of the Emerald Sea. My copy finally came in. Wow, it's like a whole like green vibe. Wait, I'm just gonna pose for my thumbnail. So the last and final book that I hope to get to in the month of April potentially is Tress of the Emerald Sea by Brandon Sanderson. I was part of the Kickstarter and supported it back when it was up last year. I finally got my book last week. So I did get the ebook January 1st when it was supposed to come out, but I was really excited to tab my book. And so I was like, you know what? I'll read it once it comes out, once I get my physical copy. It's March now, which I know there have been a lot of shipping delays, and Brandon's team has been so great at keeping us all informed. So I'm not complaining at all. I'm just thankful to have it. It's a beautiful cover. But now the next book is coming out April 1st, which is in another couple of days. So I'm struggling to start that one first or read this one first. We'll see how it goes. I was really excited when I got to it, and I don't want to lose that excitement of getting a book and really wanting to dive in. I think I just need to go for it when I'm feeling that particular way about a book. I just need to go ahead and pick it up and read it and say, screw my plans, you know? Because that's why we read, because we want to have fun, because we're excited. So I hope to do a lot more of that in April. So hopefully this is one that I will also enjoy and I can give you my full thoughts on it. So those were my reading plans for April. I know there's very little in this particular video, but I really do want to mood read and just see where my heart takes me. If you made it this far, leave a tree emoji down below and let me know what book you're really excited to read in the month of April. As always, thank you for watching, and I will see you on the next one. Bye!